Okay, so it's been a couple hours. Went to Lowe's, got the caps for all of the supply lines. As you can see now, there's no more vanity. The only thing that was keeping the vanity in place, it felt like maybe there was a screw or something, but we couldn't see a screw. But it does turn out the only thing that was still keeping the vanity in place were the pipes. So the P-trap, the drainage pipe, is still there on the wall. But I was able to cap off the rest of the supply lines, including the toilet supply line, so there's no more toilet supply line. All of those are capped off in the basement. So the next step is to get this toilet out of here. We've already taken it off of its bolts and off of the floor. To the flange. The empty flange is there, which, if video could tell you smell, it stinks in here because the sewer gases are coming up. So the next thing we have to do is get that thing cut down in the basement so that it can be pulled up and then capped, all the drainage capped. So
now, why aren't we keeping this toilet? The answer
is because it's a appropriately titled shitty toilet. It's a universal rundle. It's like a very generic, very baseline kind of toilet.
And what
to
is
begin
that?
with, it was installed in 1994. I think you can even see. Yeah, July 27th, 1994 was when it was manufactured. So it's an old toilet.
Why is it all brown like that?
We have rusty water, which ever since we have now that we have our water softener, it's a little bit better because we buy the salt with the rust, ionized, whatever salt that goes in it. But the damage was already done by the time we had moved in. This thing had already had 10 years of irony water running through it. So it's permanently stained in there from all the iron that collects in that tank. And basically, I mean, water would come up and the iron would get trapped. I mean, the water would kind of be sitting there between flushes, and so the iron would have time to settle down to the bottom of the tank. And it would settle and stain. You can see some of it's in here. Some of it is even little, iron. Like if you move the water around, the iron moves too. It's just really gross and nasty. And if you work on the toilet, you had orange hands by the time you were done. So we are looking forward to having a new toilet that can be nice and white on the inside and hopefully would stay white and not get stained with iron now that we have a water softening system. So goodbye, old toilet that I hate.
It's starting to smell in here. Let's get that capped
out. And it
out.
Stinks. So that's what we're going to do next.
So that brown is the ring.
That is the wax ring. This yellowy brown right here.
And the rest of it must be under the toilet?
Must be inside the toilet.
Now, the toilet still has a little tiny bit of water in it. When I lift it up to take it to the dumpster, is that going to...
It might, and that's why we laid down some... paper. We're hoping that it can leak as little as possible in between here and the rest of our house, because, man, that would make things stink if the water got in the carpet.